Welcome to another episode of Behind the Bar podcast, brought to you by the coaches and clients of RT Fitness Durham, Sunderland, and of course the Barbell Club, where we take you from complete beginner to photo shoot ready. So today's episode, we are fresh off one of our shred elements of the Barbell Club program, where we take people on that 12-week journey of living like a fitness monk to get some crazy photo shoots at the end. Me and Dan break down a handful of clients of what they've actually done in the time to get to where they are now. We didn't have time to go through all of the clients. I think we had 12 total people on there. Some were doing the shred, some were doing a bit of a body recomp where they just get a big kick to the arse. And we're talking specifically just about a handful because me and Dan could talk on forever about these. So we just went through a few and then basically ran out of time because we have a busy life. But yeah, enjoy it, take some inspiration away from these, and if you need to check out any of our results, head over to my Instagram, Ross_Barbell Club, check it out, share this episode with your friends if they need this bit of inspiration as well. So enjoy the show. Right, and Dan, straight from the shred from last week. How did they all go?
Fucking mint. Yeah, I mean, obviously you see them, you see the pictures, the progress pictures, you see the weight going down, you see them in person, but up until that final day, you just can't really, you just don't get a feel of it until they get the kit off. And it's like, fucking hell, that you've done well here, like.
Would you say, like, even from my end, last few weeks, it's nervous for us thinking, are they going to hit it right?
Honestly, like,
are they going to get it?
I was saying to you, like, last week I've been fucking exhausted. Like, I was so excited to crash. Like, it is your fret as much as like they do, because obviously we want everyone to look best. We know the work they've put in. Yeah. And like, you just want them to have that moment. Like, when it's done, you just want them to like be happy. Yeah. And it's just like that constant like pressure, like make sure they're doing everything right, make sure you tell them everything they need to do. Obviously make sure they're all right just in doing it, because it is like the last week's it's an ordeal. Like, it's a lot to go through. And obviously you just try to keep everyone's head in the right place.
And yours.
And mine. Like, it's you want the best for them. You know what I mean? It's like, we just want the best for them. We've seen like the work they've put in, and like you just want that work to actually show up on the day. And there's not like, it's our worst nightmare, like if something doesn't go right in the prep or something, like and like it doesn't come together on the day. Yeah. So like when you see them like when they first get the top and they start getting a pump on, you're like, fucking hell, anyone's fucked up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've got used to the day and the shape we want used to be in. So yeah, it's just that. It's like that moment of like relief. I mean, like I said, obviously after the shoot we're fucking exhausted because we've been running around. But
I mean, you had 6 out of the 12 people there. I think you've coached 6 out of the 12 people there. So it's like in that 12-week block, it's more, we're having to push them out more, we're having to look after them a bit more, but then it's obviously all of that work behind it, because actually Dan from Sunderland had just started on the 12 weeks, but everybody else has put months and months of work in prior.
It's a year's worth of work.
Yeah.
For some of them. Like,
all down to that one day.
They're building up all that results and everything, it's to come together on that day. Yeah. And that does come with the pressure, because you just want to deliver for them.
Exactly. We're just going to jump straight into each one. I don't even know. I thought, this might be a quick one. This might not be a quick podcast, but we'll see how many we can
I don't think we've ever done a quick one.
I know. See how many we can actually get through. And obviously more about like how they've done it. Like to the point, because not just like, Billy has lost this 12 weeks, he looks like this. It's rather,
story, like it's like, obviously like, everyone sees the pictures and sees these results and sees clients, they don't actually fucking mean anything to anyone. Yeah. Like anyone else looking out, but like each of these people, like we know as people, we know their lives, like they're all individuals with their own individual lives, their own individual challenges, and like those pictures to everyone on the outside don't mean anything. Same as if we see any randomers pictures, they don't mean anything. But to us and to them and to the people who are close to them, like it's representative of fucking so much. Like it's the change they've literally made in their life, and all the hours, all the hard work. Like it's massive.
If you think of like, say your in-house clients, you're spending 4 hours of them, 4 hours a week with them, and then probably meeting up for walks and all the rest of it on top.
It's everything outside of it, and like it's obviously just that emotional connection that you do have to them. Like we are close.
Yeah.
We would do a lot of stuff outside of the gym together. Like it is a proper community, so obviously you do care.
And then there's your onlines who you're constantly backwards and forwards with.
Yeah, like Chris and Adam. So again, like both of them, it's been a full. Like nigh on a full year, do you know what I mean? Literally, like, obviously 2 separate journeys, but I mean, obviously Chris has been a lot longer. Like I said, it was like my 9-year friend anniversary with Chris.
On Facebook.
Been coaching for a long time, obviously a year online. And yeah, again, it's like where you're not seeing them in person. They need a lot of, you want constant communication so you actually know what's going on, because you're not getting a chance to see them, and like, you probably don't realise, but like obviously in an hour session, like there's a lot of information getting across. I mean, like the ones who are doing it in-house, they're getting 4 hours a week of us like talking to them about stuff. So it's trying to then give the same information to the onlines as well. Outside of that, do you know what I mean? So you're trying to provide that same knowledge, but obviously in a different platform.
So it's a lot of, the thing is, it's a lot of hours from them. They've got to put all that work in, but it's also a lot of hours. Like we're so invested into that
of course.
Journey.
Like I didn't sleep on Friday night, like hardly. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you just like that, like we just care that much. Like it's beyond like thing. It is. It's like it's an emotional investment.
I mean, I turned to the gym Saturday early than what I was telling you, and you were already there.
I mean, in fairness, I thought the first ones were 8.
Oh, did you?
So I thought they were getting there at 7:30, so I thought, well, I'll get there at 7. But like I was just up. Hey, I'm always up anyway, man. 8 o'clock's 8:30's the middle of the afternoon for me.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Same as me. It's like third lunch.
Wasting half a day.
So Billy, 59-year-old, in-house concert, started, it's just over 10 months ago now. Yeah, just over 10 months. Started at 108 kilos, now down to 84 kilos. Tell us his journey.
I mean, obviously it's a close one, because obviously he's my father-in-law to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously it's quite funny, because obviously he's always said, like with Hope over the last few years, obviously doing as much as she's done, like he's seen her get involved in the training, doing the weightlifting. Yeah, I'd love to try that, like I'd love to like give that a go. But then you kind of just sort of passing comments, and then obviously I remember when we first started with concert, it's like, oh, there's a William Story sign around. I'm thinking, William Story? It's like, no, I don't know William Story, like. I just didn't even register. And then obviously went home, as it was Billy, I was like, fucking hell, I didn't even like click on. So I think he was the first one to sign up. But like I said at the time, just because I never even thought, so like, it was meant because so many people talk about, like around here and that, everyone talks about, especially when something's new. Talk about. Everyone wants a session, everyone wants a diet plan, everyone wants something. But we just went and signed up.
Yeah.
We just went and did it. Rather than talking about it and like wanting a freebie, wanting this, that and the other, just went and signed up, just did it. And it's like, that's the way to do it. If you're actually serious about like changing, like don't just ask stupid questions in the pub, like just go and do it. Don't talk about it, just go and sign up and actually do it. And obviously that's what he did, and then that was the start of it.
Even if you're half serious, you should just sign up.
Yeah, just do it. Like,
because
and so many people talk about it, and it's like, yeah, just fucking do it. And it's, but yeah, you said, you know yourself, especially like in the circles we move in and stuff, like outside of the gym, like old friends and that, like it is, it's everyone's all talk. But yeah, just straight in, signed up for it. Obviously we did a couple of sessions like with him and Hope when this was like set up but not open. Yeah. Just because I was coming up anyway, so it's like, well, yeah, I get started. It gives you a bit of an idea what you've got to look forward to. And honestly, like since he's began, he's just fucking never stopped. Like mentally anyway, like he's got a good head on his shoulders for training, in the sense is like he's determined as fuck, as I'm sure you probably realise with the Saturday sessions. It's like you could chop his legs off and he'd still try and fucking run his arms. Like it's that mentality, and like I couldn't do it the way he's done it. Right. In the sense of like, from the start, I was like, look, the tracking's going to be a nightmare for you. Just do photo tracking. Take pictures of what you eat and send it to me. Happy days. And like, he's just so strict. Like, he won't eat anything to an extreme that he shouldn't. Right. So it's been like almost a year of like just eating pretty much perfect food. And it's like, if any of us, when you're dieting, like it's exhausting. Like you want to eat shit. And it's like literally been a solid year of just like like proper white knuckle and just literally every day, same good foods on repeat. Like he wouldn't even eat a potato. Like, do you know what I mean? Like obviously there's nothing matters, but like things like that just so like, unless I say you can't eat that, you'll not. But again, for me, that's perfect because that's what we want. Like we want robots. Perfect clients are robots where if you say eat that and they just do it. Do you know what I mean? They're not like, but can I have this? Can I have that? It's like, if you can have that, I'll tell you to have that. Just do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just...
So he's been perfect.
Literally, I mean, obviously did a lot of steps anyway from like work, obviously active job, working in the factory. Does like loading and unload wagons, forklift driving and training, that sort of thing. So he's always on the go. So he does get quite a lot of steps at work. Works early, so 6 till 2, so he's out the house 5 o'clock, the same as us. Then coming back in, getting the house at 2, going for a walk. Obviously then to the gym on the night. So yeah, it's full on. Like again, these people have jobs outside of everything they're doing, which it's obviously easy for us to forget about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, do you know what I mean? Like it's like they've got a lot to deal with outside of like just training. They aren't just two train, like it's not their life.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just, like I said, before Christmas, obviously, he cut the food straight away. The only sort of vice he still had was the drinking. Cut it right down. I mean, the mad thing is, like, you'll see yourself, he was a big drinker, so he'd go out and have maybe 10, 15 pints. Maybe I think he'd stop the Friday beforehand, so maybe a Saturday and a Sunday, have a good drink. Swap his pints for wine and soda. Yeah. Which sounds mad, but like if you're having 15 pints, that's what, 2,000, 3,000 calories? If you have 2 bottles of wine, it's 1,500. Yeah. So as daft as that sounds, like at least you've halved straight away what you've done. And this is what we say, like, it's like, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to do better than what you've been doing previously. Yeah. Which again, initially, that was enough of a change alongside the food to make the difference. And obviously lost loads of weight before Christmas. Then round about Christmas time, maintained through Christmas, and you had hit like a little bit of a plateau. Yeah. And it was creeping.
I've got all the data.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be able to see.
Obviously, went from 108 to the 90.
Yeah, and then sort of sat there for a little while,
did,
and then that was the time with the shred where like it was like, right, like we're going to cut the drink out. You're going to knuckle down, and just went for it. I mean, in the whole 12 weeks, he drank twice. One was like Ibiza Benidorm. Yeah. We're there for 5 days, so obviously on it for the time we were there, but just drinking, not really eating. We never bothered with food when we were away anyway. And then obviously my stag do down the town. Yeah. The second one, but even then he just had bottles. He did, which again for him, it's not what he would normally do. He was still being very conscious.
Because from a pint to a bottle is a big difference.
Yeah, just little things like that. And it's like, it's all it takes. It doesn't have to be like extreme all the time. Yeah. Like I said, he was probably extreme during the week with his food. Like, honest to God, like if you go through his food track and you don't know he's not fucking starving, like it's obviously like how little he's been eating, but it's what you do. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just do what it takes.
95 kilos for 4 months he was stuck at. Yeah. So it's like when we say these big numbers of 108 down to 84, there's 4 months of that where he plateaued. Yeah.
But like that was kind of intentional from my point of view as well, because he'd like dropped a load of weight off quickly, and then it was kind of like, I was happy that it slowed down because it sort of gave him a chance to like build his strength up and stuff. I mean, during that period he was hitting like 180 kilogram hex bar deadlifts for 5 sets of 5, which for anyone who trains, that's a lot of weight. Obviously deadlifting 200 for 5.
At 59-year-old.
Which is insane weights. I'm happy if I can do 200 for 5 on a good leg, Jeremy, same as you, for like working weights. That's within a session, and we probably rest more because like when you've got a session, it's like bang, bang, bang. There's not a lot of time, and obviously not everyone in the group is on that level strength-wise, so therefore they don't need to rest as long, and you're trying to balance that. So yeah, I do think the pace is probably a little bit quicker. So yeah, I was quite happy with that because it kind of came at the right time. A little bit of a mental, not having to push as hard with the diet, and sort of at that maintenance phase, build up some muscle, build up some strength. And obviously like he's always been a big bloke, like a big strong bloke. So he had a good base of muscle anyway, but even still, like he's got a cracking set of fucking arms and shoulders and that on him now, and back in that leg. And obviously we built that sort of over that period where we were able to push and then into the dieting.
At 59, it's like, me and you always talk about like habits, ingrained habits, cultural habits from here. And if you think of like where he's, I mean, obviously the wedding, our daughter's wedding, it's like there's something clicked in him where it's like, cause it happened to my dad a few years ago, didn't it? When he hit 60. So
I think it's because like, I think at that age, you've got to start becoming like more aware of your own mortality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's that weird thing of like, there's like that proper, that between 50 and 60, if men die young, it tends to be, like, it's obscene. That's where it happens. Your cancers, that sort of thing. The spike is obscene. It's like a huge spike where like it's between 50 and 60.
Okay.
And then if you get to 60, there's like a much greater chance of you then going on into like 70, 80 and like into old age.
Okay, yes,
if you look at all the statistics. So I think it's that thing of like, I'm getting old and I'm going to get old now. And it's like that realization of like, well, like 10 years I'm going to be 70, which seems old as fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it is. I think it's just it is a big wake up call, but like, I mean, they don't behave like 60-year-olds. Like you've met them. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think like. Do you know what I mean? All the blokes around here were like that. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't think any of them were like 60. Or they're not what you think in your head a 60-year-old man is going to be like.
It's only our bodies what age.
Like I mean,
it's not our minds.
You meet people like, oh, it's my father, the 60-year-old, and there's some little old man sitting here, and you think, fucking hell, our dads are fucking bouncing around the fucking horse and groom every Saturday night. Like, you know, they are young for their age, but I do think that's like sort of helped keep them young.
Yeah.
In the sense of actually going out and still like having fun, keeping your social thing. But with that comes the drink, which has always been the biggest enemy. I mean, he said obviously it was his birthday in between the shed, and he said like it's my first birthday probably since I was 16 that like I haven't woke up the day after the hangover.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not just talking like normal
43 years.
You're not just talking normal levels of drinking. Or like the way me and you drink, do you know what I mean? You're talking like all of them, like heavy drinking, like they wouldn't waste the time going out if they weren't going to have 10 pints.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like trying to break that cultural habit of that's been your whole life. It's all you've ever known, and it's all the dads did. Like, do you mean it's all they've ever known? And even for me, like it's took me ages to like break the things. And like, I mean, fucking hell, like I say ages, it's my 20s. Like, I probably actually got sensible quicker than most people did. But still,
you was desensitized to it when you were younger, sensitized, or like. Well, you thought that was the norm?
Well, it's all you've ever known.
Yeah.
Like, it's all you've ever known. Like, it's the most normal thing in the world. So to break that and to suddenly, like, think, like, there's another way to do things.
Yeah.
Like, there's another life you can live. You don't have to, like, live your life through the pub. Like, there's more to this. You can still go and enjoy yourself. But, like, what difference does it make? And, like, obviously, this is what they've all realised. Like, right, you finish work. You come here for an hour. Do your session, have a bit crack on, have a laugh. Obviously, we've got a mint group, like, you always had a good group from the start. And you go home, you finish work, you go at the pub, you have a few drinks, you have a bit crack with the lads, and you go home. No different. Yeah. You're still just going out and having a bit crack and a bit laugh and like doing something social after work to unwind.
Yeah.
And then you're going home. And it's like
much more beneficial.
Well, of course it is. It's like, but you'll be actually putting years on your life. And yeah, so it's just that switch. And like, even now, it's like, we went out Saturday to watch the football, and it's like you're getting it like, oh, I'll not be long before you're back to normal and stuff. And it's like, first, like, why fucking say that? But secondly, it's like, no, it'll not be. And like, I know fine well you're not going
He's got a strong head on him, right?
But that the thing is, as I said, as soon as someone says you're not going to do it, that would be, certainly you'll not do it.
It's like a click.
But still, it's just like, he'll not. And I know they won't, because the way they've done it right.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, like, that's the bigger thing. People just think of it like a 12-week crash diet, and people don't actually know what you're doing. Like, everyone that comes to the gym is, I think, always quite shocked at, like, not how little we ask them to do, but it's like, it's nothing extreme.
Yeah.
It's 4 weight sessions a week, which are quite enjoyable. It's good crack. It's getting for a few extra walks. Like, we're not, like, really fucking making you suffer. Like, it's like, so everyone's like, oh, yeah, you'll not be able to sustain that. But why can't you sustain it? Because you're not doing anything extreme.
I mean, this is us. This is the Barbell Club. It's fucking balance. It is 4 weight training days per week. Get your steps in. That's it. It's not all these other online coaches, whatever else, like five training days, 4 days of cardio. And it's like nobody, not the everyday person can do, not even us. We don't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you just cannot. But like, I think like with all of them, like all the ones we're going to talk about, it's been mad because like, Saturday they were also like, I don't really know what to do. Like obviously they're going out and all that.
Yes.
But then they had it, and then like I had messages like yesterday and the day, and it's like, I just can't wait to get back to normal. Yeah. And it's like, that's when you know you've won. When normal becomes this.
Yeah.
And abnormal's the down the drink, the thing. And it's like, that's what used to be normal. And once this is normal, once you just want to get back into your normal routine and like push on, that's when you've got it cracked. And that's the secret. Like, it's like which what we always talk about, like diets don't work. Like I did a post yesterday, like diets have never worked. Like the only way you're ever going to become a fit and healthy person is by lifestyle change, and like that's the reality of lifestyle change. When all the things that you need to do to stay in shape become normal, that's when you will stay in shape. And that's what people from the outside looking in miss. They don't realise that it's like that's now the normal. There is no back leg.
It has to be the normal.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Has to be
but also, it's not forced. Like, they want to get back to eating well, they want to get back to doing the training, they want to get back to doing all those things and being in that good routine because they enjoy it.
And I've even had messages from like Steph, Ross, obviously they did the shred at the weekend. Like, I'm just normal, I'm back to normal Monday. Yeah. That's it. Like, I'm so like, fucking pleased.
Well, yeah, but that's it. It's like, that's when, like, as a coach, that's when we know we've won.
Yeah.
When that becomes normal.
Right. I mean, I say, yeah, I would talk about that one more so about the after effects and all the rest of it, but we'll keep on topic with them all.
Where do you stop?
I know. Chris Todd, online, his journey, obviously from, at the end of the day, I mean, I'll give a brief one with Chris because Chris was a client with us for years inside the gym. Then he's like took some breaks and then we got him online. Same again. Probably 11 months for Chris online. Yeah. And yeah, go for it. I mean, he's did one shred in the past.
Yeah.
Where he sort of ballooned up, but didn't. And
I think, like background on Chris, I mean, like I said, we know no one better. And you'll not mind saying, like, obviously he was bigger when he was younger.
Yeah.
But like, if you met Chris now, you would never be able to comprehend the fact that he was ever a bigger person.
Yeah.
Like, you sent me like a picture of him 10 years ago and you're like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's you, but it's not you. Like,
yes, yeah.
But the thing with Chris is because he was overweight, he's always been so fearful.
Yeah.
Of going back to that.
Very body conscious.
Like, yeah, so like he's obviously always done the cardio and stuff, and like he is like a really cardio person. Like, he enjoys that type of training. Like, he's an unbelievable runner. Like, he's had my life for the last like 8 weeks trying to catch up with him. Like, do you know what I mean? And yeah, so he's always been like not anti-weights, but he's always been very conscious of his weight and wanting to stay lean. And that's sort of been to his detriment a little bit. Like, he would come and do the weights and put a little bit of weight on, and then he'd start to like get a bit itchy and a bit tetchy, like worrying about
like the time you lied, Toddy, about the carbs, rice cakes.
So it's always been that like that fear of like not wanting to put the weight on. And obviously we've always known like to look how you look, you need to put some weight on to be able to like take it off. So obviously when he did the last shred, got right down, I think he was like 133 pound,
which sounds crazy light.
Yeah, like he's not a big person.
Yeah,
like, he's not a big person anyway. So obviously when he started online, it was like, right, we're gonna do a bulk. Like, and obviously at the time it's like it's gonna be hard because I know he doesn't like putting weight on.
Yeah,
but actually he's smashed it. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it's been nice and steady. I mean, he went from like 130, he was probably about 140 when he started.
So I've got that here, so it's like, so he was 67 kilos when he first started, and then you got him all the way up to 73.
Yeah.
So what's that, 67? So we've added like 6, so you've added 6 kilos there to him, and then...
But you've got to remember that was like proper slow, and like we always say, like the biggest thing people do wrong when bulking is like they're too quick, in the sense of you're never going to be able to increase the rate in which the body can put muscle on. Yeah. It's impossible. That's always going to be very slow. Naturally, as you get older, it gets slower. So therefore, anything over and above that, it's going to be fat. I always say if you can average like 0.5 of a pound a week, that'll probably be around 50-50.
67. So that's 6 kilos in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months.
Yeah,
six
so
kilos.
It's proper slow, like, and like obviously intentionally, but like that's how it should be. Like, you can't put muscle on quickly. Like, as much as we'd all love to be able to pack muscle on quickly, if it's going up quickly, unless you're juiced to the gills, it's just fat. Yeah. Which is no use to anyone really.
And that's something what would put him off.
Well, of course.
As well.
And I think like the thing with Chris is obviously like the biggest change this time is he's sort of following his weights. And I actually think doing the online has helped massively with that. Because like when you're going in and you're getting coached, you're just getting given the weight. And you kind of don't register. You just don't think about it. You're not thinking about your own progress because you just come in, we give you a weight and you crack on. But obviously where he's being charged with his own destiny in terms of like monitoring them and like you're seeing what you're lifting and you're seeing it going up all the time. Like he's obviously been monitoring that and seeing the increase in strength. Yeah. Obviously because he did it so he stayed lean, which kept his head in the right place in the sense he wasn't worrying about putting weight on. But yeah, obviously his strength's gone through the roof. Like he was benching like 28 kilogram dumbbells.
Yeah.
And like, which like, again, it's massive for anyone, but Chris is a small guy.
Yeah.
So to be doing that, like again, we're happy if we can bench 30s to like,
oh,
like, do you mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously I'm a lot bigger than Chris. So yeah, phenomenal strength gains.
It's good to see, probably from his point of view, because he's quite a data-driven person anyway.
Of course.
So if he sees like where, say, the last 3 sets, he only got like 11 reps, I'm going to assume for Chris, like, right, I'm going to get 12 this time.
Oh, of course.
Just that one number difference.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a great head for training again. The same like Billy, like his head's just in the right place. Like, he's determined. Like he's not going to shy away from like hard things. Do you know what I mean? He's going to push himself. And I think online you have to have that.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's no one to push you. Do you know what I mean? You don't have a coach making you lift the heavy weight, so you've got to be driven yourself to do that. And yes, so obviously we're just focused on the progression of the weights, because you've got to focus on something. And obviously got him up to what was probably quite a good weight for him. I mean, the weight he was going, he probably could have kept going, but he wanted to get lean for the summer. So it was like, right, let's do it. And obviously like now, like when you look at his previous pictures, the amount of muscle he's put on, like he looked insane on Saturday. Like, and like,
it's
just mint, because it's like, we know how Chris has always wanted to look.
Yeah.
And like now he's there.
Yeah.
And it's like, but once you're there, it's so like, everything's so much easier now, because he's got the muscle to put muscle on. And it just like, now he's going to stay leaner because he's got more muscle. He's naturally going to stay leaner going back in to the winter to try and add more size again.
Yeah.
It's like, once you get to that stage, it just becomes so much easier. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, like everything becomes easier.
And he can, for his headspace as well, I think now he can trust the process even further, because he can compare his last shred, which was a couple of years ago, to this shred and look at them and like, fucking hell, yeah, it works. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to assume, is he going to go same again?
It's going to be maintenance until September, because I always like them to do a maintenance phase after, because it gives the body a chance to actually become accustomed to the new weight and get settled. Whereas if your body naturally wants to put the weight on when you lose it, tries to sort of keep you around there. So if you just go and be a pig, like your body's at the prime point to be like, and you're just going to blow and shag up. So what I've said to all of them is like, look, it's summer. Everyone wants to be lean in summer. Stay lean, July, August. Enjoy the summer, enjoy looking good in summer, which is always nice if you haven't been there before. Yeah. And then come September, it'll be just a gradual lean bulk into the winter, which is the perfect way to do it.
And I mean, like, I don't know if you have had the conversation with him, but how long do you think you should do that for?
Personally, I would say I wouldn't even do a shred next year, like if I was Chris. Like, I know, like for me personally, like when I finished last year, like I didn't want to do a proper diet. Like I didn't need to do a proper diet this year. Like I was wanting to do a full year of lean bulk. Obviously it was never going to happen with the wedding and stuff like that coming up.
And my surprise Ibiza photo shoot.
Well, that doesn't make any, like I said, I can do that in a week. Yeah. It doesn't really make any difference where I'm at now. But yeah, and it's like, I'd say like a full year, because I know he can stay lean. Yeah. Like he can stay super lean, and if he just goes back to what he does. But I think Chris is a bit like me, like at the minute it's like, the dieting's easy, because he's such an active person anyway. And it's like, the dieting's easy, the bulking's a slog. Yeah. So like he's actually happier when he's dieting, because it just fits into his lifestyle better. Like he's a great runner, so like he can just nick off and do a 10k, and there's your 15,000 steps done in an hour. Like it's easy. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, obviously mentally there is the challenge that like everyone likes nice food, you have to make sacrifices. And he really does make sacrifices. Like he's meticulous. Like if he's going away or has anything planned, like he's messaging us saying like, right, what's the strategy for this? What's like straight away this morning? Right, I'm at some festival at the weekend. What's the plan to stay on track? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? This is 2 days after the photo shoot. But it's like, great, this is what you want. Like this is what we want as coaches. Like I want everyone thinking and planning ahead. So yeah, like I do think the dieting's easier for him, but yeah, he needs a nice slow bulk to put as much muscle on as possible. The mad thing is though, strength hasn't dropped anything. During the entire shred, never dropped. And we had the conversation at the start, he was like, do you think I'll like drop your strength during? I was like, if you tell yourself you will, you will. Yeah. If you tell yourself you won't, you won't. And it's like, physiologically, when someone starts a diet, you'll get a dip. Yeah. But it actually goes like that, and it comes back up, and then you'll maintain. And it's like, there's no reason once you have that dip. So say you're there, you'll have your little dip initially when you start dieting, and it'll come back up to there. But there's no reason for the rest of it why you can't maintain.
I mean, actually, from all the data, from all the shreds and all the rest of it, there's only been out of the hundreds that we've done, there hasn't been that many people dipping strength.
It becomes more apparent the higher end you get. The stronger you are, the bigger drop you'll see.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like me and you, from our maximum weights, we're never going to hit our maximum weights.
I taper off myself.
Yeah, you have to, but like obviously, like it depends how, like, the stronger somebody is, the more they're going to experience a drop off.
Yeah.
But most of they aren't super advanced. They aren't powerlifters or strongmen. Do you know what I mean? They're not trying to hit maximum weight, so therefore there's no reason why they have to drop in strength. But again, coming back in now, you then add the carbohydrates back in, you add the extra calories back in, and you're already maintaining on the level that you got up to when you were bulking. And that's where you're starting. So it's like you're starting 30 pound lighter for Chris, 30 pound lighter on extra calories. So obviously he's going to be fueled up and ready to train. And you're starting on the 28th for bench, do you know what I mean? That's your start.
Is that what he lost in the 12 weeks then? Was it?
I'm sure it was about 30, possibly.
I'm just saying 10.
It was less, 11, it was 60 down to 36.
Yeah, 11, so, whatever that is, 24 pounds.
Yeah, so
even so for someone that's that size.
The mad thing is, it's like he was only 3 pound heavier than what he was at the last sleep shoot.
Oh really? I haven't compared
so he was
the two.
133 pound at the end of his last one. 136 at the end of this one.
Right,
and for the amount of muscle he's put on, it shows how much lean he's got.
Yeah.
Because like in the past, like his last ones, he was nowhere near as hard. Like in this one, like, you know what I mean? He's really tightened up. Like,
yeah, I mean, we haven't getting the photos back from Luke yet.
But obviously we were there on the day, so you can see,
especially across his back and everything. Yeah, really just look good.
Like there was some of them where like there was a little bit of softness on the last ones, and like that's gone now. It's like you can see how much leaner he is compared to the last one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Looks like he's lifted a long time.
Yeah, like I was even ridiculous shape on him now. And like I said, it's just the fucking start, because he's not going to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them. He's never going to stop training. You know,
yeah, exactly. He won't. So Owen, how old's Owen? I might be able.
He's able to get up as he gets pro.
I should be able to.
I want to say
1974.
Could be wrong.
26, 28, 52, 40.
Yeah,
no, 1974.
Figure that out. He's about 47. I'll be able to get up in
26, 46. That's 50 minutes. 2024. Oh no, he's 49. 49. Yeah. December's his birthday. 49. Owen. Sorry if you're watching this. So I mean, Owen,
I said 47, so I'll take that. You'll be happy with that one. I didn't think he was 50 yet.
So Owen 49. I mean, before you get into it, so Owen. You'll see on his testimonials as well, so when he signed up, he thought it was only going to be a once a week job thing or a twice a week job thing, and he thought how am I going to fit this in, and he was hesitant about it all. It's how am I going to do this? And now nearly 11 months down the line, I mean, starting weight as well, 115 kilos, and on the day 89 kilos, which is a 26 kilo drop. Tell us about his journey.
I mean, again, he was he would have been the first client that didn't know to walk through the door, because he was the early session. So obviously the first day he was in the 5:30 session. So obviously that was a big thing for me. Yeah. So I mean, obviously brand new gym. Yeah. Obviously Billy was first, but I knew him beforehand. So so it's just obviously when we're starting, you just don't know who's going to walk through the door. Yeah, you just put an advert out and hope it's going to work. Hope you're going to find some clients. Obviously, everything we've done for the last 10 years doesn't mean shit, because it's a totally new place, fresh start, and I couldn't have had better clients. And Owen's the prime example of that. Literally from the moment. I mean, I think again, 50, approaching 50, same as where we're seeing with Billy approaching 60. These big milestone birthdays are if you're not happy where you are, they make you fuck, I need to do something. Yeah. Obviously he's dad to a young kid. So again, I think especially as you start to get older, you want to be fitter to be able to run around with them and play with them. And he will say, he'll admit himself, he'd let himself go prior to starting. Obviously, we've seen the pictures. Like he was,
but it's mad because we don't think of him like that.
Oh, I know, you forget how people look.
Completely forget. Like if you think when he walked through the door, you wouldn't think, oh, he's 115 kilos.
Yeah,
like, because of our memories,
like,
isn't it?
It's just mad. But yeah, obviously he was carrying a lot of weight, had a few things going on that he had to deal with that hadn't helped him with looking after himself. And yeah, but like just from starting again, it was just like he's just done everything I've asked him to. Like it couldn't be any easier. Like it's almost like, what do you even do as a coach? Because like you just, everything I've ever asked them to do, they've done, and it's just been that perfect natural progression of you get them in, you start them on 10,000 with the steps, took to that straight away. Again, it was a great one to just get him out of the house. Obviously he does work from home a lot, spends a lot of time writing, so to be able to go out for a walk. And then again, that's just slowly ramped up over the full time. And again, it's building these lifestyles. And it's like, it's at the point now with Owen, it's like the lifestyle that he's built was the lifestyle he was living during the shred. And it's almost like, that's almost normal now, which is mad from where he started. Like, I know he says himself, he couldn't imagine like not going out for the walks. Like you said in the thing when you said like, oh, you don't have to do your steps this week. I don't think I can stop. You sort of,
that was a tough one.
Isn't it? It's like,
a tough one.
It just becomes normal, and then but yeah, again, it's just that total, he's like a different man. Just like in every possible way. Like it's just, he looks at least 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Obviously strength and stuff's gone through the roof. Like he'd had back issues and stuff.
That's
like prior to starting, like
was it
back disc issue.
I thought you had ankle or something. No, not him.
So you'd had like disc issues prior to starting, so straight away you're like well, was to see how we actually get on, how we can manage that. And like he's had niggles, like everyone has niggles, but nothing actually to do with his back, just like little things, but no injuries, nothing. And obviously weights have just skyrocketed, like the amount of muscle they've put on. Like I think there's a picture like him, Billy stood next to each other in the backs, and like,
that's a
like,
good picture.
It's just, do you know what I mean? Like the amount of mass they've put on in that time, whilst losing the weight.
And at that age.
Which is a
big thing.
It'd be nice if you could lose fat and gain muscle forever.
Yeah.
But realistically, once you've done a year of training, like it's not going to happen. You can only do one or the other. But again, it's just like not only losing the weight, like the amount of strength they've put on, like just the change in shape, and like they're both so strong now. Like the weights are like top end, and yeah, it's just you couldn't, like, if we'd sat down and just planned like a year for a client, that would be it.
Yeah.
Like it's literally just, it's been dunk, 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 just steady away. It's never stopped. Lovely, consistent. I mean, you'll be able to see the charts. It's literally that, then the shred and straight down. It's just, it's like, what more can you ask for? But that's a year.
Yeah.
Consistently over a year. And like anything, it's still having bits, and like he still lived life. He still had weekends away. He's still like gone for meals and done stuff and like managed it. And obviously being stricter during the shred, but I know he said like he was drinking a lot prior to starting, now he hardly bothers. And again, that's such a fucking massive one for people, because it's such a vicious circle of like the calories and alcohol for a start. Obviously the way alcohol affects your physiology, but then if you're drinking every night, you're not going to get up and do anything productive in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like now he's up at 5 o'clock in the morning getting ice baths before he wakes. It's like what more of a change, do you know what I mean? But yeah, just unbelievable. And like I was messaging the day, and it's like obviously having a young son, it's like you want to set the best possible example for it.
Yeah.
And it's like to do what he's done at his age, and to go from like literally like what he was a year ago. I mean, people will see the pictures when we put them out there, to where he is now. Like you wouldn't even think it was the same person. Like he said, he'd seen someone he hadn't seen for ages at the reservoir. He went up there for like an open swim. They didn't even recognise him.
But yeah, of course.
Like it's just like,
of course, that's
obviously out of context as well when you don't see him. It's like, yeah, it's just insane, absolutely insane.
I think from him, like where I said about him, like didn't know about like the doing the 4 sessions or something. I think Owen's probably always had this like good mindset of wanting to train, wanting to be healthy and all the rest. But I think where in the past, because he said to me he's done like personal training, he's been a gym member and stuff like that. And I think what he's been used to is that 1 to 2 PTs a week, thinking that that's sort of enough in a way.
Of course,
and then like he's been brought into like our culture, which obviously to us isn't like it is 4 days a week, yes, which I know some people might struggle with, but 4 days a week and just getting your steps in and tracking your food. And he's figured out like all this time.
Yeah, and I think like
type thing.
Where he's done stuff in the past, it's always been like a big crash diet.
Yeah.
But then obviously inevitably going back. And again, it's like just actually focusing on changing that lifestyle. And then like I said, this is that wake up thing. It's like, is this all I need to do all this time?
Yeah.
Which is mad. Like I know like Billy says all the time, and like Owen will be the same. It's like, I would do anything to be able to just wind back the clock and know everything I know now at like 20 or 30.
Yeah. Because
it's almost like you've not wasted your life, but like all those years that you could have been being a fit and healthy and active person and like enjoying training, and like obviously when you're younger you can get stronger quicker and like everything's easier when you're younger, and it's gone. And it's like now it's like you obviously like you're getting that back. Like most people, like when they're approaching like 50, they're on like I look at like people I went to school, like people hitting 30 and everyone's already on the down. Like I mean, you'll see yourself at 40. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like we've got like 4 different ages, like literally like 30, 40, 50, 60.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're looking and it's like everyone's thinking of it as like that.
Yeah.
And now to like be able to look forward and look up, and it's like you look at like now he's undone all of the bad damage.
Yeah.
All of the damage like they've done to his body of like the years of like high stress jobs, having the weight, and it's like you've got a total blank slate now to have a total fresh start and to like do anything you want.
Yeah.
And that's the mad thing at the end of the shreds with them, because it's like, yeah, it's a huge end thing, but they don't see it as an end.
Yeah.
They only see it as the beginning, because like they've got the time back now. They've got the chance to like push on and like get stronger, put more muscle on, like improve on what they've already built, which is just mad. And again, I think that's the difference. Like the outside looking in, everyone from the outside looks at it as the end. Yes. Oh, you're done now, you're done now, you've done it. Like we see it as the beginning. They see it, the clients see it as the beginning. Like this is the chance to like build from it. This is the foundation.
It's why I've been posting in the group a lot of like within like that Shred People group is like, this is just the warm up.
Oh,
because it has like we have to ingrain that in them before. But that is like me and you could go well off on that.
Well, like I think that they're all there.
Yeah.
Like they all seem to be like, obviously all the ones I've been coaching, they all just seem so ready for like what's next. Like obviously they can't wait to get a bit more food in the belly. Like I know Owen said he'd struggle last week, bless him. It is hard, like especially when you're trying to manage everything else and like you've got like family and stuff, and like you're trying to eat no carb and like drink shitloads of water, and then
it's just for the final week stuff that we're not never promoting no carbs. We are high carb.
Do you know
people.
what I mean? This is just like a little bit of photo manip stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot to be doing alongside stuff. So like I knew he like all last week he was just out in his feet. But like you should be, like I kept saying to him, like if you didn't feel like this at the end of the shred, you've done it wrong.
Yeah.
Like literally, like the thought of having, if I said to you, do 1 more week, you should want to cry.
Yeah.
Like you should be that exhausted at the end of the 12 weeks that the thought of doing another week should literally tip you over the edge.
Yeah.
And that's how you know you've done it right. Like if you're like, oh, I want to keep going, I'm going to do it to the 12 weeks, it's like, nah. Like you shouldn't have anything left in the tank. Like you should literally be crawling over the line.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I get that. Yep.
And like that was him last week. It was just like, you're almost there. But like, when you see the pictures, and like obviously we kind of have a sneak peek because we get to see them. Yeah. Whereas they don't get to see themselves. So we know how they're going to look on the pictures. And yeah, they smashed it.
Yeah, so 49, 26 kilos down in 11 month-ish, 10 and a half, 11 month. Perfect, like brilliant. Well done, Mr. Owen. And Adam. So he's like your OG online, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of my first online clients.
And you've never you never met Adam, anything like that?
No, he was totally new when I started coaching him with the online.
Totally brand new. I mean, I'll get his stats straight away. So the 11th of August, so 10 and a half month, whatever the date is today. 10 and a half month by the time we finished the shred. 86 kg start, down to 68, so that's 18 kilos across the year. Now, obviously 86 isn't a massive person.
That's the thing, he wasn't huge to start with, so therefore that's a really significant weight, especially if you look at it as a percentage of the body weight. It's like 20% like
gone.
Yeah. And I think the mad thing I was saying to him on Saturday, because like he's naturally really broad at the shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was saying, looking at him, I was like, I can't understand how like on your first pictures, your bottom half's wider than your top half. Because he's like it is. It's like if you look in, he's like that, and it's like honestly, I can't even understand how your body was that shape to begin with.
Yeah.
Like we were joking, and it's like mad. Like he's gone like that to that.
He has, yeah.
Like he's got a really good shape to him naturally.
Yeah.
Like he is broad. I was like, I don't even know, like, but yeah, mint. And again, it's like where you're not seeing the onlines in person all the time, it's hard to gauge where they're at. Because I mean, like, nobody looks great on the progress pictures, like they're just standard progress pictures. But everyone's like, but like obviously, like you're not relaxed and you're trying to get them. You've got your missus taking them in the dining room or something. Like you don't get a good
representation.
Yeah. So obviously the ones you see in person, you can kind of keep an eye on. The onlines, obviously you're relying on the pictures, you're looking at the data, but you just don't necessarily know how they're getting on. So like to see it again coming together on the day, it's just like fucking hell. Mint.
Yeah.
I mean obviously he's trained in the past, but not like this. And again, it's just like, I mean, his steps are shit. We constantly argue. His steps have been consistently shit. Like most people, when they start the shred, it's like
steps are shit, Adam.
It's like 15,000 minimum. I was like, can you just give us 10? Can you just get up to 10? So he's actually done this, just doing 10,000 steps a day.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not even extreme. And before that, it wasn't even that. But he's really strict in his food.
Yes.
Which is it. He finds
you have to be.
Yeah. He finds it no problem whatsoever. He can stick to his 2,000, no issues. So. Again, it's like people have different ways of doing it, whereas like some people are absolute step monsters because they struggle to diet. He's sort of done it the other way. Yeah. But again, it's just...
I mean, looking from it, like from that first month of coaching him, Dan, maximum within the first month, 7,000 steps.
He was a 4 to 5,000 step a day, man.
Man. 2 and 3 the first few weeks, Dan.
So again, 10,000 was actually quite a bit of progress. I'll be interested to see whether he finds it easier now to keep them higher, having done it with the shred, because most people do. We'll say that a lot. Like people are like, I cannot do 10,000. How am I going to do 15? And then they finish and they're like, how did I not do 10 beforehand? Yeah. But so obviously with the training, he's just cracked on. I know he's done like things like CrossFit and stuff in the past. Right. So it's a totally different type of.
So he has had like a base level knowledge of weightlifting.
Yeah, he's done stuff before, but obviously different type of training. And again, he's just been mint. He's been super consistent with his food. Like I said, the steps have always been in a bit of an argument, but he does get quite a lot of other activity in. He plays like badminton, he's been playing paddle and stuff like that. So he is doing other things outside of training that does get activity in. But again, he's got a young family. Yeah. So it is hard. It's trying to find what you need to do to fit it in. Gets his training in early doors most of the time. But again, it's the same with Chris. I think just where they follow the stuff on the app, they're just meticulous with the data. Yeah. Like the progression's been mint because it's all laid out for them. And obviously, like in the time that he's lost that weight, his strengths flew up. And again, the same as Chris, like there's been no drop off. Yeah. Maybe it's a little bit, but all the way it's just been nice. Like the weight's just gone like that, and the strength levels have gone the other way. I mean, he said on his testimonial video, like he prefers the online. He actually is preferred the online because he can do it at his own date, and he loves like obviously the tracking of everything. I think a lot of people do who've done it in the sense of like it works for them. Yeah. Like coming in house isn't for everyone. Yeah. Like I think I'd rather just do, like if I was going to get coached off somewhere, I'd rather do that than have to go in person. Just like work around. And I think if you sort of have a good idea of, if you're comfortable training in the gym yourself anyway, then it's ideal because you can make it work for you. I mean, it's quite a like a bit of a side tangent from Adam here. With the online stuff, it's like if you're paying somebody and they're going, right, do this, this, and this, it's like okay. Of course. And I think you remember that he's just come back from a 10-day holiday a week ago, a week before the pictures. Oh, did he? Lost weight. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. Been on holiday for a week and lost weight, and come back in a week later and done them pictures. And it's like that's good. The amount of people that go away and the pigs, and he still enjoyed himself. He said, "I just did my thing, just wasn't greedy, but like just was what it is." think he said he was limiting himself to 4 beers a day or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is fair enough. Whatever you're gonna like. But hey, it's worked.
So he's done this like. So Adam's done this like. Obviously, hasn't gone total fitness monk mode in those last 12 weeks. He's still had his beers and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. But like I said, it's just still been steady, good weight loss. But I know, like you'd said, like originally when you first started, like, or maybe it's not when you first started, maybe it was at the beginning of the year, he was like, I want to feel good when I go on holiday this year.
Right, okay.
So obviously, like that was the coming timing, because I know, like we said originally, that's what, like why I got him on it, because I wanted to give him that push. The thing, the photo shoot was kind of like a little bit of a left field. Tell me how to jump in, I kind of sort of pushed him into it a little bit.
Why not though?
Again, it's like a lot of people, like he wasn't comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Even he said, like, I know Kristen's messaged him about like fake tan. He was like, I'm not fake tanning. I mean, like, which I get, because like I've never done the fake tan either. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, I totally get that. So like, he wasn't comfortable doing it. But again, like on the day, just, I mean, who is comfortable? Like, you know what I mean? But looked fucking mint. Like, just the difference in his shape from like when he started to now is like mental. Yeah, absolutely mental. And
does he listen? Like, does he message as much as say Chris does? Like for advice?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, obviously with the check-ins are always quite in depth. I mean, obviously the longer you have the clients, the less you need to say.
Yes,
in the sense of like, you kind of like the first few months, it's like information. But once they kind of know it, it's just guidance after that, guidance and accountability. So your role as a coach evolves with clients that have been there longer. But the amazing thing with like what Adam's been saying, it's like, it's the wider effect of a sense, like his missus is like picking up better habits. He was saying his mom's lost 3 stone, just like picking up like the habits of the steps, the eating, like his dad's lost weight. Like, it's not just like, it's that like these simple habits that like seep into the people around you as well as like yourself. And it's like that sort of butterfly effect, like I talk about all the time, of like, we know how many clients we affect directly, but we'll never be able to comprehend the amount of people we've affected indirectly. So like, because everyone that starts something, the partners are probably going to get on board with it, and then people talking, like family members, and like just this simple message that isn't anything groundbreaking. It's just being good with the food, getting the steps, and like these little lifestyle changes that like, it's almost seems so normal to us now that like you get sick of repeating it, but you forget this isn't normal to everyone. And like most gyms, most trainers, most things that people are doing, they're still stuck 20 years ago of like high intensity training, diet plans, and like it's never ever going to work for anyone.
I mean, most people don't actually help with the nutrition.
Well, yeah, it's just a big waste of fucking time. So like for us, you almost get bored of talking about it, because it seems so obscenely obvious. Yeah. Because it's like we're living this bubble. You know what I mean? We're living our little barbell bubble where like this is just how everyone lives their life. But you forget how like alien some of that stuff is to people, and like just them little snippets of advice from somebody who's on their own journey to like friends and family and stuff like that makes a massive difference. And it, like I said, helps people around them as well as themselves. And like when he messages that, I was like, I was almost a bit emotional, because it's like, you're not just like the fact that he's then able to go and help his parents and that from like improve their health from what I've been able to tell him. It's just like amazing.
It's the same with so Andrew Holmes, who's just like been with us in that. His lass was doing it all with him, and she lost a few stone. When Jennifer Broomfield, she was saying the other day, so when she does her shred, all the people in where she works at the NHS lose weight. Yeah, because they see her coming in with that tuner and all the rest of it.
And it's like just that effect on people, and it's like, it's amazing. It really is. But again, the thing with Adam, straight away on his checking form this morning, it's like, what's next? What's next? Like, this is where I want to go. And it's like, you love it, because it's like, it's what we're talking about. It's like, you've now, like most, for all of them are pretty much the same, but Chris is slightly different. But like, they've all undone all of the damage that they've been doing. Like, they've damaged the body, they've now fixed that, and they've now got this lovely, lean, fresh body to like, go out in the world and build it in whatever way they want. Yeah. Which is mint, because it's like, you're no longer sitting there thinking like, oh, I hate my body, I want to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm happy with how I look now. So now I get to think like, what would I like to do better? What would I like to improve? Do you know what I mean? And that's such a refreshing position to be in, because most people never get to that point. Most people are just in that constant, I hate myself, I look like a sack of titties, I hate myself. And like, to actually be at this point now of like actually looking good, being lean, and like thinking what's next, is just must be so motivating.
Fucking yeah. I'm glad. That's the thing, because I'd done my check-ins a bit earlier, and it was like, right, what's the next plan? But they might have beat us to it, but your clients have beat you to it. What's next?
Like straight away on the check-in forms, all of them, it's like,
what's next?
Ready to push on, and it's like, yes.
It's meant that, like, yeah, he's done brilliant, Adam. He has. He's done absolutely epic. To be fair, I signed him up. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I remember the phone call with him, actually, because I didn't do a Zoom call with him. He was like, "Yep, there, I'll do it."
I do think it's harder for the onlines.
Yeah,
I really do. Like, because obviously they don't get the in-house. It works great, but I do think you just have to be that little bit more accountable yourself.
Yeah.
So to get the results he has with the contact that they get, obviously they do get a lot of support, and they get a lot more messages, a lot more than the in-house clients get. But yeah, I just think it's just been phenomenal.
I mean, I think on that, it's like, so I can say from two sides, because both the client, so I've been me own, not tracking anything, to being an online client, but now this moment in time, I'm actually getting coached off Josh in-house. I'm not in like the barbell group. I'm like, because the times don't work for us, and plus I don't, like, as much as I am a sprightly little shit wherever I go, I don't want to be in the sessions anymore because of, like, I don't know, because of the way I am. Like, I don't
end up thinking about things other than your own training.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's like I'm on that position of, like, in-house, but it's for me now. I need a total switch off, kick up the arse, where I don't want to think about anything. I know I'll go back to online tracking.
Yeah. I mean, you say like we don't play well with us.
Yeah. Well, me and you've trained for a long time by ourselves, but you've jumped into you were part of the barbell. I've in-house as well.
Done it in the past, yeah. I think what I will say, when I say like it's more difficult, if they embrace it. Yeah. Like, what you'll notice is the online ones are much better with the data.
Yes.
They're much like, because they have to be, like, if they don't use the app to its full capabilities, they don't get anything out of the training, because that's what they need. Whereas so many of, like, the in-house clients, they take it for granted. Yes. Because they've got they're with us in-house, they don't appreciate, like, how powerful of a tool the app actually is. And, like, because the onlines have to embrace it, the data we get from them is, like, obscene. I love all the data. And, like, it's, because they have to. So I do think it's like they have to be more accountable, but when they are, the better for it. Yes. I mean, I think I'll talk about one more, because I don't know how long we've actually been going. But I'll not do any more from your end. I think I'm going to pick a random one here. I'll go Ross Wilkinson. So Ross Wilkinson, I mean, I don't know how much you know. Did you train Ross for a bit? Yes. Oh, I trained. So when Ross first moved across barbell, I was training him in my 6 o'clock group before Mia took over. And Mia took over him. So Mia's his in-house coach. So he is in-house in Durham. I've took over his nutrition for the last 12 weeks. Now Ross he was 120 kilos. Yeah, he's a big, I mean, he's tall, like, he's a big man. In every possible way, he's a big man, like. Yes, he's a big, that's the thing, he is a big man. So 120 kilos, it was a body recomp rather than a shred, because it's like, it was, I mean, for 120 kilos, he'd have to go beyond what he got to this time, but been floating around, not so much dipping in and out the nutrition-y type stuff, still turning up, still cracking on, obviously quite new to weightlifting this year. God, I mean, when did he start on the barbell? It would have been maybe a couple of months before I left, I'd say. So January? Might have been. December even, something like that? Yeah, aye. So start of the year-ish. So relatively new to training, so probably weight training specifically, so probably 4 months of that. So it's not like we could have went all deep shred and all the rest of it. You need a big kick up the arse. Him and his lass wanted to do it together, and I'm sure he was like a last minute, can I do it? Yeah. And it was like the day before, it was like, I'm sure he was. Forgive us, Ross, if I'm wrong there. But for him, like, he did have the biggest drop, but if you think of overall percentage-wise of the body, I mean, he dropped 22 kilos in
12 weeks.
Which is mental.
I don't even know what that is in pounds, but that's close to 50 pounds.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah,
well, a 20 kilogram plate's 45. So yeah, it'll be 50 pounds.
Yeah. Fucking
which
hell.
is mental in 12 weeks. I mean, like, obviously I got a shock because I've not seen him at all since I left.
Oh, yeah.
So he hasn't done any of the Saturday sessions.
Yes, that's right.
Fucking like, just like mad.
So with it, I'm gonna talk about probably his extreme here. Yes, extreme, because obviously most people have done a quite balanced approach and stuff like that. But for somebody this big, like if I was to actually coach them and just to lose weight gradually, I'd be starting him on 3,000 calories. I'd be starting him on 3,000 calories, but because he wanted to jump on the shred straight away, he actually went to 2,000 calories. And I mean, me and Josh worked it out this morning. That's something like a 2,000 calorie deficit per day.
Yeah. I mean, these things aren't
precise.
Yeah, they aren't precise.
Yeah.
Normally, I think a lot of the time, them sort of calculators are very relevant to somebody like me or you, who's very, very lean and quite heavily muscled. But I think it drops down more with as people's body fats increase. Like people with high body fat percentage for the weight of have a lower.
I mean, I'm looking,
but it's still a massive deficit. Like it's obscene.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean go and try and replicate a 2,000 calorie a day deficit.
Yes, because most people's burning, even meals, is like in today's modern society, is probably just over 2,000.
Yeah.
So you'd be on 2 calories. But for him, like, I mean, I am actually looking on the charts of like what his obviously watch says, and it is right. It is actually, I mean, some days 4,500 burned, but then obviously some days 3.5. But on the whole, you're looking, I would say it's saying about 4.2 over the last 12 weeks, average burned.
Yeah.
So it's very, very close, that for data wise, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much bang on.
Which is rare. But for someone like that, so it's 22 kilos, so the only reason why he has lost that is he is a big man. When you're walking and you're 120, even when he's dropping down to 115 kilos, when you're walking about like that, your calorie burn is going to be significantly higher than somebody who is starting this journey at 65 kilos.
And you've got to remember he's had a relatively high level athletic background as well. Like he's played semi-professional football pretty much his whole life. So it's not like he's alien to like exercise and activity and stuff like that.
But he stopped
prior to that, but still
quite a while ago,
he's had like the background of doing stuff like that.
Yes, so he knows like, so there's been some muscle mass probably already there. I mean, generally lower body. Yeah. Like he hasn't, even though like he is a big man, it's not like he can come in and bench 3 plates each side or anything. He's not that kind of guy, but it's just like, I think because obviously I'll be posting these saying that he has lost 22 kilos, which he has, which is the truth and honest thing around it. But I think what people have got to get into their heads, it's like he's went quite drastic.
But it's just that thing of like what somebody else has done is completely irrelevant to what you can do.
Yes,
Everyone like always thinks like that doesn't mean that you're going to come and lose 50 pounds. Like what we couldn't be more open with people. Like everyone's on a different journey. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And like, yes, it can be done in circumstances. Everything can be done in circumstances, but it's the exception, not the rule. Yeah,
and he, like, honestly, Ross, he did mint. He even said the nutrition was quite easy.
Well, obviously, it's quite funny because I used to coach him on his nutrition, obviously, before I left. And then Mia took over his thing, you took over his nutrition. So I know what he used to be like. Yeah. And he was inconsistent. Yeah. Really inconsistent. So like I said, obviously, the fact that he's knuckled down for the 12 weeks in the way he has is brilliant.
And he has. I mean, he looked fantastic on the day. He was buzzing. Him and Steph obviously did this together as well. Steph did brilliant.
Which is always nice to do it as a couple.
Yeah, they have. I mean, was there 2 couples that day? Yeah, because there was Andy and Sophie as well, which is a massive help if you're ever dieting down, is to get your partner on board with it.
But you know, because I was like talking, I was like, even afterwards, I was like, oh, like, he's got a plan for the rest of the day, and like, oh, they're going to go for a walk around Harrington Park or something and go and get like dessert with a Ben.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's just you know what I mean? But it's like, they're not thinking, no, I'm going to go on the lash. It's like just doing something nice, going for a walk still, like, it's still, like, do you mean you're still in that health bubble, which is like mint? And it's like, it's just keeping people there.
because even when I've finished a few diets over the years now, it's not like, yes, I've had that big meal because I've wanted to feel full, but then afterwards it hasn't been like, right, I want to stuff my face with shit.
You don't even know, like everyone said, every day, I don't know, I think anyone actually went and like did anything really, like just had maybe a meal or something, but no one seemed to go mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't know what to have.
Yeah, that means we've won, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, definitely.
But I mean,
don't get us wrong, like I do warn everyone off. I'm saying, please don't get like a fucking kebab meat pizza. Like you will be sick. Like you cannot handle the grease. I think that's the biggest.
I don't have it anymore.
You can't anymore.
No.
And it's mad. It's like when you get used to eating healthy, you actually can't eat takeaways because they make you poony.
Yeah.
Which is so mental because it makes you realise how desensitized people's stomachs actually become to eating that much shit and grease. That doesn't make them bad. The fact that like you eat it like makes you ill, and it's like, Jesus, like how can you tolerate this regularly?
Yeah. So I'll give a bit of a shout out to the rest of them. I know we can't go through them all, but I think like with all them who we've said, like, I mean, that was just the first 4 people in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got I went at your concert concert there. It was the April Shredders. Where's me members? That's it. Yeah. So there was Amy Burns. We've been a team all the way through, Amy. Andy Mint, Chris Mint. I've already said Chris. Dan Lawson, he brilliant. He went all in deep, 12 weeks, just from nothing to 12 weeks. Just I was so hesitant on, like, I was like, no, you shouldn't be doing this on the phone to him. Like, even though he just signed up, he said, but I want to do it. And I said, well, this is what you've got to do all the way through. And he did every single fucking thing all the way through. Danielle Dunmint, she's obviously continuing on, like
40, almost 45, like 45 pound down altogether.
Altogether,
which
yeah.
Is fucking mental.
Gary Duffy as well came back to us this year, dropping quite a bit so far, 20 odd pounds, I'm sure of it from there.
It's a good track on the Saturdays, Gary, as well. I've enjoyed
Yeah, he has. And he's continuing on, and hopefully get him some photo shoot ready in September. I mean, there's one little person here, Dan, who didn't get our photos on Saturday. It's Hope Story. No,
I don't know that one.
I'm sure you will have something to share with that one.
I've got a funny story from Saturday as well, because obviously she had a dress fitting.
Yeah.
And decided to faint in the dress.
To what?
Faint in the dress.
No.
So that'll be a story for another day.
Fucking hell. Okay. Right. Natasha.
Fucking Natasha. I mean, from the start now, she's 48 pound.
Wowzer.
Down. And again, when you think like she wasn't like obviously the lads are that sort of, but they were like starting in the 200 nods. Like she was a lot lighter when she started, and fucking mental. Like
we could we'll give them a brief one.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do another one. Obviously Pete did fucking mint. Wow,
Pete
his arms.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I was drooling over Pete. So yeah, he did mint. Obviously Sophie again cracked on with Andy getting wedding ready. Obviously I've already mentioned Steph Wilkinson, Steph Walker. I literally she was already looking lean. She was doing something by herself, and it was like, do you want to do the photo shoot? Yeah, let's do it. So she jumped in there. Vicky Watts as well, she's been on a longer journey. The same with Amy, and I'm forgetting, she's quite a bit down obviously since starting in the barbell, and her and Amy is just a nice little pair. They're just nicely cracking on, continuing with the body recon, continuing on, and looking forward to all theirs. But yeah, absolute mint day on Saturday for them all, wasn't it?
It's class. Yeah, great events.
And that's what it all comes down to. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you need any information about our programs, there's a link below straight to my personal Instagram. Just drop us a DM on there, and we'll show you the way that we get these results time and time again with our blueprint.